They shook hands. Year 1, Chapter 3, Making New Friends, Part 2. Was this what it was like to be a normal boy, Harry wondered? If these were friends, then how he wished he'd met them years ago. He too was far from an old wizarding family. He was from an old wizarding family, and surely he would have been friends with them all many years ago if Voldemort hadn't interfered. Around 12:30, there was a great clattering outside inside the corridor, and a smiling, dimpled woman stood back at their door and said, "Ending off the cart, dears?" Harry went and had any breakfast, up to his feet, quickly followed by his new friends. He never had any money for candy with the Dursleys. Now they had pockets rattling with gold and silver. He was ready to buy as many Mars bars as he could carry, but the woman didn't have Mars bars. But she did have her Birdie's bots, every flavor: beans, dribbles, best glowing gum, chocolate frogs, pumpkin pasties, cauldron cakes, licorice swans, and a number of other strange things Harry had never seen before. "Wow," he said. Draco glanced at him out of the corner of his eye. "Right, gang? It's time for Harry's first lesson. Everyone gets something different and gets enough to share. Everybody gets something different and get enough to share." Before Harry could protest, the 5 boys and girls literally raided the snack trolley. He tried to pay attention to his friends, began to tell him all about the various sweets. He stuffed his face quite thoroughly. Theo was offered to give him a whole bunch of chocolate frog cards. Card doubles struck Harry as extremely generous. And he tucked the Dumbledore card away in his pocket. The countryside now was flying past the window, was becoming wilder. The neat fields had gone. Now there were woods, twisting rivers, and dark green hills. "Want to hear a joke?" Draco asked them. "Want to hear a joke?" Draco asked them. "Sure," Trace said for the group. "Hufflepuff." Theo snickered loudly, and everyone else joined in a few seconds later as it sank in. Harry laughed with them, even though he didn't get the joke. Sure, things he'd been saying about Hufflepuff weren't actually true. There was a knock on the door of their compartment. The round-faced boy Harry passed on platform 9 3/4 came, and he looked tearful. "Sorry to bother you," he said diffidently, "but have you seen a toad anywhere? Trevor keeps running away from me." They all shook their heads. The boy Harry remembered sniffed a few times, trying hard not to cry. "If you see him, we will," Harry said. It was hard not to feel bad for the boy. Harry didn't own a pet, but if he did, he'd probably be very upset to lose it. Neville left. Pansy was trying hard not to laugh. "Who brings a toad?" she asked curiously. "I know they were all the fad a few years ago, but honestly, Elon brought a toad his first year." Draco commented. "Yes, himself," she giggled. "You're just saying that because you fancy him," Draco shot back. Pansy flushed slightly. "He's handsome," she said. "He runs the family," you said smugly, bumping his fingernails on his shirt. "Git. Hadn't you better change into your robes?" Theo asked, looking out the window. "You must be nearly there." Everyone agreed to this and began to unbutton their clothing. Harry stopped for a moment. Draco nudged him. "What's wrong?" "It's just, he stared. Realization dawned in Draco's eyes. That stupid muggle foolishness about dressing in mixed company." Harry nodded. Draco sniffed. "Muggles are ever so provincial. We always take things in stride. Come on then, don't be shy." Harry was very embarrassed. It must have shown too, because Tracy paused in the act of buttoning her trousers. "Be a little more understanding, Draco. He was raised as a muggle. There's bound to be a few problems while he adjusts. Ladies," she said, addressing Millicent and Pansy, who were also about to come indecently dressed. "Let's go next door. Give Harry some privacy." Harry flashed her a grateful smile as the 3 girls picked on their robes and left the compartment. He and Draco quickly stood out of their casual clothes and donned the uniform shirt and trousers before pulling the robes on over their heads. Theo was already changed. There was a knock on the door and it slid open. They told this boy was back, but this time he had a girl with him. She was wearing her new Hogwarts robes. "Has anyone seen a toad?" "Neville's lost one," she said. He had a bossy sort of voice, lots of bushy brown hair and rather large front teeth. "Are you stupid?" Theo asked incredulously. "You already told him we haven't seen it." "There's no need to be rude," she said with a sniff. Then she caught sight of Harry's forehead. "You're Harry Potter," she exclaimed. "I know all about you, of course. I got a few extra books for backup reading. You're in modern magical history and the rise and the fall of the dark arts and great wizarding events of the 20th century. Am I?" said Harry, feeling dazed. "Goodness, didn't you know? I found everything I could if it was me." The girl said, I'm Hermione Granger, by the way. "Who are the rest of you?" Theo froze. "Granger? That's not a family name I know," he said, his voice a little more than a whisper. "My parents are dentists. They have a practice in the outskirts of London." "You're Muggle-born," Draco said flatly. "Yes, I'm the first family to be magical. It was ever such a surprise when I got my letter, but I was ever so pleased, of course. It's the very best school of witchcraft there is, I've heard. I've learned all our course books by heart, of course. I just hope it'll be enough." "Oh, I promise you," Theo said softly, "that will not be enough." She turned to look at him, missing the dangerous glint in his eyes. "There are certain disadvantages that mudbloods like yourself have. One of those is not knowing your place. Get out of here, you arrogant little mudblood," snapped Draco. "We don't want your kind around. Muggles are cruel, stupid, and worthless waste of oxygen." Harry started. "Where did this venom come from?" "Well, really," Granger sputtered, highly indignant, and turned to glance out of the compartment. Neville had already fled. "Furnunculus," Draco hissed, pointing his wand at her. A bunch of red sparks shot out the tip of his wand, missing Granger entirely. She continued on as if she hadn't noticed. "Damn," he said, "it didn't work." Harry stared at his friend. Was that a curse, he asked, unable to really say anything else. Hex, Draco answered. Give it some nasty boils. Very elementary. Why'd you try to hex her? We don't like mudbloods, Theo declared. They're bad news for the decent, pure-blooded wizards. She's just what the rest of us... she's just what all the rest are like. Arrogant, Percy, and entirely too full of themselves. They think they're special just because they reversed their families to have magic. They get funny ideas, though. Queer thoughts. It's better to put them in their place as soon as possible. I mean, can you believe how rude she was? You're Harry Potter, mocked Draco. Not in the care world for the chap's feelings. Hope we run into her again. Run into whom? Asked Tracy as the three girls came back into the compartment. A mudblood named Granger. Burst in here quiet and inviting, looking for that bloody toad. Then she brings up our mates made Harry's famous as well without so much as a by your leave. What? Tracy was outraged. What sort of manners do these muggles teach anyway? Apparently not that much, answered Pansy. I nominate our first order of business to be retribution. Second, chorused Millicent and Tracy. The motion passes, Pansy continued. The floor is open for suggestions as to a course of action. Feed her to the squid, that was Tracy. Throw her off the train, that was Millicent. Snap her wand to bits, that was Theo. This panel is not open to the idiot opinions of idiot boys, Pansy said cheerfully. Hang her by her feet on the top of the astronomy tower, that was Draco. Excellent, Harry. Harry had been grinning at the vast indignation on his behalf, was suddenly on the spot. True, it had been very rude of Hermione to have brought up Harry's celebrity status. He'd been made famous for living when his parents had died. Didn't she have an ounce of sensitivity? Apparently not, because she'd acted very arrogant and bossy. Suddenly Harry hoped that he wasn't sort of the same house as her. Bribe the Sorting Hat to send her Hufflepuff? He suggested timidly. His friends had all been bashing Hufflepuff a bit, so he figured mimicking them was a safe bet. His suggestion was a righteous laughter from his five friends. Pansy wiped her eyes, blew her nose, and sat up straight. All those in favor of Harry's suggestion say aye. She said officially, aye, chorus 6 of them. And against? Silence. The motion passes by a vote of 5 in favor, none opposed, and the idiot opinions of idiot boys do not count. Hey, now how do we bribe the Sorting Hat? Who's going to go before her in the sorting? I will, said Millicent. Me too, said Tracy. Better make it good, warned Draco. Offer whatever it wants, said Tracy. We'll figure it out. There's no price too great to pay for the smitings of one's enemies. Smiting? Draco asked incredulously. Did you just say smiting? Yeah, it means to hurt them, Pansy chimed in. I know what it means, he snapped. Aren't you going a little overboard, Tracy? Asked Harry. Absolutely not, she declared. Pure blood stick together. I think she's sweet on you, Pansy, jamming her on the side. Tracy flushed pink. I never said that. You didn't have to, sweetie. You didn't have to, smirked Pansy. A voice echoed through the train. We will be reaching Hogsmeade Station in 5 minutes' time. Please leave your luggage on the train. It will be taken to the school separately. Harry's stomach lurched with excitement. He looked around at his friends. They were all grinning hugely. This is it. They're almost there. Everyone packed their sweets away in their trucks, each person giving Harry a package or two. Here we go, said Tracy with an upbeat castor voice. The pointed crowd of students thronging the corridor. The train slowed down as the station came into view. When it finally stopped, people pushed their way towards the door, out on a tiny dark platform. Harry shivered in the cold night air. The lamp came bobbling over the heads of the students, and Harry heard a familiar voice. First years over here. All right there, Harry? Hagrid's big, very hairy face beamed over the sea of heads. Draco and the rest of Harry's new friends grimaced as they came into sight. But out of respect for what he'd done for Harry, they said nothing. Come on now, follow me. Any more first years, mind your step now. First years, follow me. This way down to the boats. So yeah, that was They Shook Hands, Year 1, Chapter 3, Making New Friends. And yeah, that's it. This is part 2. Take care, everybody. Tonva Legend, 826, out.